everyone, welcome to Kstyleyo for Sunday live streaming. Today we're gonna be learning Korean through a Korean article. And we have done this before. When you read Korean news, you have some benefits in a different way compared to, let's say, K-pop. Korean article gives you the advantage of learning about Korean sentence structure because it's gonna give you a more defined structure. As you know, K-pop lyrics like Yesterday, they omit a lot of words and very poetic. But this one is not really poetic, as you know. Korean article, it is very a bit more straightforward. Also, you get to experience longer sentences. Shorter sentences and also longer sentences with a lot of conjunctions. So if you want to experience that, then today is the live streaming. So thank you so much for joining the live chat. If you are here, just say hi in the live chat. Hello, Francesca. Hello, Rachel. Thank you so much. Malha, Alex, Full Metal, excellent. Pei, Mateo, Diana, Nigel. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much. I love that you guys showed up. This is Sunday. It's really difficult to commit in 1 hour. I don't know if it's gonna be 1 hour, but I'm gonna share this article. I was going through different articles today and to find out what is the good one to do. But this is kind of interesting because we get to experience different cultures, not only the Korean culture, but also different cultures in the world, on the other side of the planet, I guess. And this is about funeral culture. So you guys can talk about your funeral culture. I don't know if you ever visited funeral before, but for me, I visited funerals back in South Korea, and I have visited funeral maybe here before in Canada I live, but it's a little different. But this culture that they're gonna show today, it's a lot different. So I think Korean article was written in a sense that they wanted to share different culture from Africa and how they deal with the situation when somebody leaves the world, I guess. So I guess we can talk about it and you guys can share your experience. And this is not really long, but sometimes when I read Korean news, I have a hard time to figure out what the words mean because it's not really a common words to use in speaking format. It's a written words. So sometimes they use a lot of words that are associated to Chinese symbols. So sometimes I also have a hard time. But I have picked how many? 4, 5, 6. About 7 sentences today. So I'm not going to read the entire article. I put a link in the description box. You can read the entire article if you want. And you can also play the video and just watch it on your own time. These sentences I have picked, it's kind of interesting because as we progress, it gets harder and harder. So in the beginning, it's a lot simpler. And then at the end, you're going to see a lot of conjunctions together. So let's start with this first one. So I have picked this one. 세상을 떠난 연인의 관 위에서 엉덩이 춤을 추는 한 여인. Okay, as you can see here. So the subject is orange color, object pink, verb blue, and miscellaneous work is turquoise. So please have your pen and paper and dictionary ready because we're gonna learn together. Okay, so 세상을 떠난 연인의 관 위에서 엉덩이 춤을 추는 한 여인. There is no verb. Just to give you guys that info. So there is no verb here. It's not a full sentence actually. I think they're just describing who this person is. So let's go with 여인 here. 여인. So what is all other things? Like we have one object noun here. What's all other things? Can you guys guess how what they're talking about here? 세상을 떠난 연인의 관 위에서 엉덩이 춤을 추는 한 여인. What words can you guys catch here? 세상을. This is object particle, right? 세상. This is world. 떠나. With adjective below. Describing 연인. So do you guys know 세상을 떠나다? 떠나다 means leave. You can look up this verb. 떠나다. Leave. Leave the world. You know, right? Leave the world meaning you're dead. So leave the world, but 연인. Describing 연인. This is a loved one or lover, loved one. So somebody who she loved is now dead. I think that's what is happening here. So lover who left the world, and this is possessive. Possessive. So I don't pronounce it as 의. I pronounce it as 에. Okay? Oh, I see. So 눈을 떠, that's 뜨다. Open your eyes. 눈을 떠. This is 떠나다. That's right. 관. So the lover's 관. Do you guys know 관? You probably don't hear this often because you probably don't get to read about funeral often, right? So 관, this is coffin. Coffin. Okay? 위에서. So this is a good words to know because you can apply anywhere. 위에서. 위. Okay? 위 is above or on. This is location particle, specific location particle. 위에서. On top of. So in English, on top of noun. Korean, noun on top of. So it kind of messes up in your brain. Oh, okay, well, what should I put first, right? Coffin on top of. Okay? 엉덩이 춤을. I think Alex Fullmetal said it. 엉덩이, this is butt. 춤, dance. Butt dance. Object particle. 추다 verb. So this one goes hand in hand because in Korean we say dance a dance, right? 추다. This is to dance as a verb. This one by adding M to the verb root becomes a noun actually, right? So we say dance a dance. 춤을 추다. So dance a butt dance. So this is describing 한 여인. 한 여인. So one, this is actually one. Korean number system. 하나 is actually one, but they shorten to 한 여인. One woman. You guys are familiar with 여자, right? 여자 is also woman. 여인 is also woman. But 여인 is not as common. I guess they used it in this article. So one woman who danced a butt dance on top of her lover's coffin who left the world. So this is not Korean culture. I think they're talking about the culture which we're gonna explore now. So there is no main verb we talked about. But 질문 있어요? So technically, this entire thing can be actually describing 여인. One 여인, one woman. who dance butt dance on top of lover's coffin who left the world. Okay? So this is actually one of the easiest sentences. So now let's move on to the second one. 질문이 없으면 넘어갈게요. Literally, yeah. 여 means female. in is person. That's right. It's associated to Chinese symbol. Second one is right next to it. 흥겨운 레게 음악 속 군중은 환호를 보냅니다. 흥겨운 레게 음악 속 군중은 환호를 보냅니다. So what's the main verb here? This is a full sentence. So what is the main verb? This is very easy question actually. It's not a tricky question. Because Korean main verb always go at the end, right? 보내다, 보냅니다. This is just formal written. 보내다 verb. 보내다. That's right. To send. And what's the object and subject here? So I think you guys can see the subject particle here. We see one subject particle. And then we see one object particle. So this is pretty easy, right? 군중은 환호를 보냅니다, right? So let's figure out starting from 흥겨운 then. 흥겨운. 흥겹다 verb turning into 흥겨운 adjective describing 레게 음악. 흥겹다. This is also means to be fun, to be enjoyable. enjoyable 레게 음악. Do you guys know reggae? You probably know. This is the same thing that you would say in English. I think you probably say reggae, R sound, reggae. So, reggae 음악, music, reggae music, right? 속. This is inside. But does it make sense? Inside the music, inside the reggae music. I probably gonna use amid. Is this a common word? Amid. Amid enjoyable reggae music. 군중 is the audience. 환호. Cheers. 보냅니다. Sending. The audience sending. Cheers. So which means the woman was dancing, butt dance, and people are surrounded her, right? And they're cheering. Wow. So that is the culture there. That's what they're saying. So this one is pretty simple, straightforward. Audience, send, cheer, amid enjoyable reggae music. 예? 지문 있어요 여기? Reggae, so R, okay, reggae. 그러면 3번으로 넘어갑니다. 3번은 약간 더 어려워요. 약간. So this one is right below. 지난 9월 에콰도르의 한 장례식에서 일어난 일인데요. I think you may notice the speaking format even though it's an article. Because I think this is more like transcription of this video. Maybe that's why. 지난 9월 에콰도르의 한 장례식에서 일어난 일인데요. So what is the main verb here? Main verb. Main verb goes at the end of the sentence. 인데요, so 이다. That's right. 인데요, this is like open conversation. 이다 is be verb, which means you're gonna have object. We use object noun with be verb, right? And then the rest we can figure out together. 지난 9월. 지난 9월. What's that? I used Chinese number system 9월. So when you're defining the month of the year, then you use Chinese number system. But when you're counting months, then you're using Korean number system. So 9월 is September, that's right. Last September. Technically, 지나다, this is a verb adjective, past. Past September. But you can say last September. 에콰도르. This is a country name, Ecuador. Possessive, 한 장례식에서. You guys can tell this is specific location particle. So we know what we're talking about here. One funeral, 장례식. This is a funeral. At one funeral of Ecuador last September. 일어난 일인데요. Here, 일어나다, adjective describing 일, right? So what is 일어나다? 아침에 몇 시에 일어나셨어요? What time did you get up in the morning? 일어나다, it's get up, but you can interpret it as occur in this case. Occur. Something came up, okay? Something came up, something occurs, right? So, 일 here, 일 has so many meanings. Either one, day, or event. I'm gonna go with event. Event. Wake up is a 깨다. 깨다. But when you're waking someone up, 깨우다. 깨우지 마. Don't wake me up. 깨우지 마. 마세요, polite way. So it's the event that occurred at one funeral of Ecuador last September. So what event they're talking about? The woman dancing on a coffin, right? And people are cheering. That's the event we're still talking about, right? It is the event that occurred at one funeral of Ecuador last September. Pretty good, right? 질문 있어요? 질문이 없으면 now 4번으로 갈게요. 이거는 조금 깁니다. So, next sentence. 깊은 슬픔을 표현했다는 옹호론과 함께 외설적이고 점잖지 못한 송별이라는 지적도 나왔습니다. 깊은 슬픔을 표현했다는 옹호론과 함께 외설적이고 점잖지 못한 송별이라는 지적도 나왔습니다. So, what's the main verb here? It's a little longer. So, if you see conjunction, you may find different verbs as well. But let's talk about the main one, which usually goes at the end of the sentence. 나오다, that's right. 나오다. This is in a formal way. 나오다. This is what? Come out. 나오다. 오다 is to come. 나오다. Come out. And is there another verb here? Or do you guys see any conjunction? You may see conjunction, but it may not be the conjunction we're looking for actually. Okay. So let's talk about what came out. So this is a verb. Something came out. Okay. So Francesca, this is a verb, right? Okay, let's underline here first. 외설적이다. That's right. This is a verb. Yeah, okay. You see conjunction here. Excellent. Conjunction. But it could be conjunction to separate the clause, or it could be the conjunction with another verb. 표현했다고. Okay. 표현했다. Okay, here. This is a verb too. Verb adjective. 표현했다. So, dictionary form is 표현하다. Oh, it's actually fun to find all the verbs here. 표현하다. Made it into adjective. 외설적이다. 점잖지 못하다. Okay, made it into adjective describing 성별. 점잖지 못하다. That's another one. Do you see other verbs here? Maybe. Okay, so let's guess what came out. This is the main verb. What came out? Just try to question. Try to take a guess the whole time. Like what is the one they're talking about that they say came out? So starting from 깊은. This could be also verb adjective, right? 깊다. To be deep. Made it into adjective. Deep sadness. This is object. Deep sadness. 표현하다. What is 표현하다? Express. Usually express some kind of feelings. Express deep sadness. This is in the past tense. Expressed deep sadness. But you see 다는. It's almost like shortened from 다고하는. So this they say, we don't know who say, but whoever is supporting 옹호론. It's not a common word, but it's a good word. This is people who have a defensive opinion about this. So who support this idea? 옹호론. If you type it, it's gonna come up as a defense. But 론 has the meaning of opinion. So people who have opinion to defend this event. Because they say people expressed deep sadness even though they're dancing. 과 함께. What's the mean? 과 함께. 과. This is with. 함께. Together. 과 함께. I'm gonna go with alongside. Alongside with. Alongside with. 외설적이고. 외설적이다. Can you look up? 외설적이다. This is a verb. It came up as different things like to be dirty or to be obscene. To be obscene. So to be like a kind of like out there, I guess. So 외설적이다. A bit sexualized or suggestive. Those things. 이 고. So 외설적이다. That's the verb. go and. 점잖지 못하다. So if you look at 점잖다 first. 점잖다. So look up the verb 점잖다. Just these two. 점잖다. This is to be gentle. To be calm. 저 애는 참 점잖네. This kid is well behaved. Quiet and gentle. Those things. But here, 지 못하다, can't. It can't be quiet or gentle. So it's not gentle. Describing 송별. 송별. Do you guys know 송별해? Have you ever heard? This is when somebody leaves. Maybe in the company. Your colleague leaves to somewhere else. 송별해 하다. Or maybe in Korean culture, guys go on a military service, then we can say goodbye. 송별해 하다. So 송별해 is a farewell party. So here it's farewell without 회. Farewell. 이라는. 이 is the verb. 라고 하는. Again. So this one you can think of it as 라고 하는. Also quotation. Describing 지적. 또 나왔습니다. So I have this as a subject color. I know this sentence is a bit difficult, right? Because some of the words that we are not familiar with and the sentence structure is a bit complicated. 지적도. You know 지적? 지적하다. It's to point out. It's not necessarily just for the physical action. It's more like criticism. 지적하다. You're pointing out something. Or criticism. So this is a noun. Also came out. So this criticism that people say, it's the farewell that's not calm or gentle, and it was obscene. But alongside with the defense opinion that people say, they expressed deep sadness. So I think that 옹호론, this can be also subject. Two subject nouns came out. What do you guys think? So this main verb came out. Cannot have an object noun, right? Something came out and that's it. It's finished sentence. So what came out? These two. Defensive opinion and also criticism. Usually that happens when something is very, I guess different in other culture and people may criticize. But someone who is familiar with the culture, they may say, yeah, it's actually the way we express the sadness, it's this way. Right? So, do you guys agree? 옹호론 and criticism came out. Both of them came out. 질문 있어요? 이거는 조금 더 어려웠어요. 그런데 문장이 2개가 더 남았거든요. 근데 더 어려울 거예요, 사실. 사실 조금 더 어려울 수도 있어요. But hopefully you guys are following. So what does the deep sadness part connect to? 옹호론, defensive opinion that people say they expressed deep sadness through that performance. So, okay. This is the adjective. Adjective clause describing 옹호론. And this is 외설적이고 점잖지 못한 송별이라는 here describing 지적. 네, 쉽지 않아요. It's not easy. 깊은 슬픔을 표현했다는 옹호론. This go together. 과 함께 and 외설적이고 점잖지 못한 송별이라는 지적. They go together. So one noun, first noun and second noun came out. So two nouns came out. I guess Rachel asked a good question. A lot of people, oh, I get it now. It's good that you guys ask questions. 그러면 다음 5번으로 넘어갈게요. 참석자들은 This one I kind of skipped. Here. It's right here. This is a little longer sentence. Two different opinions came up. That's right. 참석자들이 너무 슬퍼하면 고인도 마음 편히 이승을 하직하지 못할 것이라는 생각이 반영된 퍼포먼스라는 설명인데요. As you can see, this one is English word. 참석자들이 너무 슬퍼하면 고인도 마음 편히 이승을 하직하지 못할 것이라는 생각이 반영된 퍼포먼스라는 설명인데요. So this is actually tip. When you read the long sentence, it's hard to know where to pause. So take a look at it. 참석자들이 너무 슬퍼하면 I kind of paused here. 고인도 마음 편히 이승을 하직하지 못할 것이라는 생각이 Actually, I'm gonna continue. 생각이 반영된 performance라는 설명인데요. It's hard to know where to pause. So this is actually kind of mouthful. I had to read continuously because of the context. 고인도 마음 편히 이승을 하직하지 못할 것이라는 생각이 반영된 performance라는 설명인데요. I kind of paused here. Yeah, usually after conjunction. So first thing is, if you know the conjunction, you can pause there. And also, I tend to pause after, like subject noun, main subject noun. And then I guess it could be also main object noun too. But in this case, this is a bit exception. It's really long. So I kind of pause slightly after the adjective format. So what is the main verb here? Main verb. And then after that, we can find other verbs too. And if there is a conjunction, then we can find it. So this might be the same thing as the number 3, 이다. This is open conversation. 이다 verb. It is. That's right, it is. And do you guys see any conjunction here? We can find conjunction, but this conjunction may be part of, let's say, adjective clause. Who knows? But we can still find it. 면, 슬퍼하면, if, right? This is conjunction, or it could be when. Okay? So now let's figure out if you see other verbs. So, other verbs. 슬퍼하다. You usually use with if. Verb root 면. That is if. This is a verb. 슬퍼하다. And 지 못하다. This one also used with a verb. So 하직하다 is the verb. 하직하다 and 지 못하다. They used after verb root. That's right. And then another verb, adjective here, 반영되다. Made it into adjective describing performance. And then technically, this is also be, quotation. If this noun ending with a consonant, you would have seen 이라는. But it ends with a vowel, so it's 라는. So 라고 하는, describing 설명. So we found all the verbs, let's say, and verb adjective. Let's look at 참석자들이. You see subject particle. 참석자. This is the noun. When you add 들 after noun, this is plural. 학생들, students, right? 참석자, this is attendee. But 들, attendees. So 참석하다. This could be used as a verb here. If you just add 참석하다. Attend. 참석하다. Attend. Attend this. Yeah. Mourners. In this context is mourners, but this actually means attendees. Can be used in a broader context. 너무 슬퍼하면 너무 very 슬퍼하다 feel sad. If attendees feel too much sad 너무 could be used in a bit of negative connotation. In this context it is, I think. Attendees feel too much sad. If that happens, 고인도 also. Look up 고인. This is a noun that's deceased. The deceased. 고인. So this is a word that we don't really use. But in funeral context, they use it. 고인. The deceased. Also, 마음 편히. So I'm gonna use this color together. Technically, 마음 is what? Mind. 편히. This is an adverb. Comfortably. It's the same thing as 편하게. 마음 편히. If you look up these words together, it's gonna come up as the expression as on a calm conscience or at ease. On a calm conscience or at ease. So the deceased also 이승을 object. 이승 is this world, but they go hand in hand. 하직하다. 이승을 하직하다. This is also difficult expression used in funeral context. 이승을 this world을 하직하다. Leave the world. Leave this world. Depart. So they go together. 이승을 하직하다. But can't here. Can't leave this world at ease. If attendees feel too much sad. 것이라는 못할 것이다. 못하다, 알 것이다. This is will, right? So, the deceased will not be able to depart this world at ease. 라는 생각이, describing 생각이, 이라는, 것이라는 생각이. So here, as you can see, because 이라는 is used together. Here, 라는. So like I mentioned, 라는 after vowel. 라는 after vowel. But 알 것이다 is already part of the will. Future tense, right? 라는 생각이, the thought, subject particle, the thought that they say. The deceased also will not be able to depart this world if people are feeling too sad. That thought is what? 반영되다. 반영되다. It's very different from K-pop lyrics, right? 반영되다, actually. 되다. When you see 되다 as part of verb, it means passive, to become, right? 반영되다. To be reflected. 반영하다. This is active format, to reflect. 반영되다, to be reflected. So you need subject now. The thought is reflected. To where? Describing performance. This is English word. Performance. 라는 설명인데요. 설명 is the object. So main verb is 이다. Main object is 설명. It's the explanation that people say. So let's see how far it can go, maybe the adjective clause. It's the explanation that people say. It's the performance. That thought is reflected. What kind of thought? The deceased also will not be able to leave this world if people are too sad. So maybe the entire part is the adjective clause. Does it make sense? It's the explanation that people say. It's the performance that the thought is reflected. What kind of thought? The deceased also will not be able to depart this world if people are too sad. It makes sense. So people are saying, the fact that they're playing reggae music, they're dancing, I think if you play the video, people are actually holding the coffin and dance together in a group. So they don't want attendees to feel sad, because when they're too sad, then the deceased also have hard time to leave this world. So that is their culture. That's their culture, right? But I think in Western world, or at least Canada where I live, I have not seen people dancing. But maybe it could happen. But especially in South Korea, I've never seen anyone like dancing. K-pop, we dance a lot. It's the culture, because we listen to K-pop, we dance with the K-pop. But at funeral, I've never seen it. 설명 is explanation. Explanation. 설명하다. Explain. 설명하다. 지금 설명하고 있어요. I'm explaining. 설명 is the noun. Explanation. So have you guys ever seen people dancing at funeral? I read through some comments in the article, and people are saying it's better to show the happiness outside and sadness inside than the other way. You show the sadness outside and happy inside. But the thing is that, it depends, right? So number 5, we move on to number 6. I think this is the last one. As you can see, it's super long. Are you guys ready? So gradually, consistently, we have been learning longer sentences here. Oh wow, New Orleans. They have a band and okay. Not personally, I've never seen people dancing. Okay. I guess the state is very big, so maybe each state have different culture too. New Orleans is like the heart of the jazz too, right? New Orleans jazz. I've never been, but I've heard. They're famous for soulful music. So the next one, this is the last one. Get ready. So here, this is related to Korean culture, so I wanted to explain here. This part, the last one. 불과 십수년 전만 해도 문상객들이 화투를 치며 밤을 새우는 모습이 흔했던 것을 떠올려보면 남은 이를 위로하고 죽은 이를 추모하는 마음만큼은 만국 공통이 아닐까 싶습니다. Oh, jazz funeral, I see. So this is super long. 불과 십수년 전만 해도. So I kind of paused here. 문상객들이 화투를 치며 밤을 새우는 모습이 흔했던 것을 떠올려 보면 paused. 남은 이를 위로하고 죽은 이를 추모하는 마음만큼은 I kind of paused describing 만국 공통이 아닐까 싶습니다. So, let's get to this. What is the main verb? So this is very interesting because we've done so many live streams and we've done K-dramas, K-pop, whatever it is, but this is the first time maybe we're encountering this format. So technically, 싶다 might be the main verb, but I've never seen 싶다 by itself. Normally, it's with 고 싶다. Verb 고 싶다. So this one could be used, but we just never experienced. Here, if you I actually typed the whole thing in the Naver dictionary. 아닐까 싶습니다. So I think they gave me some clue how to explain. It's more like suspect or believe. We have a verb to say believe, right? 믿다. But this one, even though it's used by itself, 싶다, but you could interpret it. I believe. I believe this portion, whatever that happens before. So even though this may be the main one, but the context, the meaning itself, this may be having more of the meaning. So 아닐까 싶습니다. If you look at 알까, this is a rhetorical question. I believe, would it be like that? Billy said 싶다 could be used to say think. Oh, okay. I see. Maybe it could be believe, think, they kind of go similar. If you don't use 싶다 by itself, how do you say something like do you want it? Oh, you want to say want? Okay, I have a video about it. If you want to say want, 원하다. Okay? Want something. Noun. Noun 원하다. Want something. But normally common way to ask in Korean is verb. verb 고 싶다. So even if you want to say do you want it? Then we probably gonna say do you want to have this? 이거 갖고 싶어. 갖다 is the verb. 이거 갖고 싶어? But if you really want to say with noun, then 이거 원해요? So 원하다 is want. But 고 싶다 is verb root plus 고 싶다. So if you want more examples, you can find the video in my channel. So 아닐까, rhetorical. Would it be like that? So wouldn't it be? Actually, this is 아니다, to be not. Right? 아니다, to be not. Isn't 가 already an ending though? Yeah, exactly. It's already ending. That's why it's almost like there is like a hidden quotation. So I think I have no experience in this type of format to explain. But when I think about I say, then we almost like using a quotation, hidden quotation. 아닐까 싶습니다. Oh, I believe will be like that. So maybe they go hand in hand, or it could be used with another verb ending. But as you pointed out, this is already verb ending. So this is the verb. 아니다. To be not. So I know it's really long sentence, but let's dissect it. Do you guys see any other verbs? Do you want to find all the verbs here right now? And you probably see different conjunctions here too. So we already talked about 면. So you guys can tell 면, this is conjunction. Conjunction if. So you need a verb with 면, right? 떠올려 보다. 떠올려 보다. How about other verbs or conjunction? Anything that comes out? I see 며 here. Do you know 며? Conjunction. You need a verb with conjunction here. 치다. 치다 verb. And another one, 고. Conjunction with verb root. 위로하다. Okay? How about verb adjective? 세우는. 세우다 verb with adjective. Describing 모습. 위로하다. Okay, that's good. Hi, ABCD. Yeah. Have a good night. Oh, I see. Oh, I thought you said it's too late. Okay, you mean I'm too late. That's good. Yeah, you can find this one in the, I think one of the playlist. 죽은. Verb adjective. 죽은. Describing 이. So this verb is 죽다. How about this one? 추모하다. Describing 마음. 추모하다. I probably missed something, but that's good. Oh, actually here, 남은. 남다. 새우 is shrimp. That's right. As a noun. 새우. Oh, you make me hungry. Oh, I love 새우. You know what I like the most about seafood? Actually, which seafood do I like the most? Crab. In Korea, I don't know if you ever been to South Korea, we have so many crab. We don't have much lobster. I never eaten lobster in South Korea. But crab in the crab season, you can catch the crab, right? And has so much egg, like so many eggs inside the body. And you may think that we're kind of barbaric, but we marinate and eat it raw. Have you ever eaten raw crab before? It's so good. So good. It's we call it 밥도둑. It's a rice thief. Because once you eat it, you just eat rice with it so much. So it's like a 밥도둑. It's a rice thief. Yeah, that's right. It's 어이밥. Okay, crab. Anyway, just the side story. 새우 is shrimp, but it's 새우다ver. So it's nothing to do with shrimp. So let's start with the first one. 불과 십수년 전만 해도 불과 only just only or just oh you see in Korean dramas. That's what I miss about South Korean food, because you don't catch crab here in North America. At least where I live, there is no crab. Only just 십수년. You guys know 십, 10. 수 means count or number. So you can think of it as tens of. Over 10 years. So tens. You know, over 10 years. 년, year. Just over 10 years, right? Just over 10 years. 전만. 전, what? Ago. 만. Only. Only just over 10 years ago. 해도. So this is actually verb. I missed this verb. 해 is from 하다. It's used as to say. Because it could be used as to do, right? 하다 can be to do. But this one say. Even if you say. So as in, let's say. Just over 10 years ago. So not long ago. That's what they're talking about. Not long ago. 문상객들이. This is the, I guess, mourners. You can think of it as condolers. So 들 is plural again. 문상객들이. condolers. Subject. 화투를 치며. Object. Do you guys know 화투? Or you may be familiar with 고스톱. This is a very common Korean game. Go, stop. Go, stop. We call it 고스톱. Or also call it as 화투. They go together. 화투를 치다. Play the game. But I'm gonna show you here. 화투. So gambling card game which originated in Japan. I didn't know this actually before. I guess when Japan colonized, they might have introduced this game. And then 화투 looks like this. Have you ever seen? Maybe that's why you see always like the Chinese symbol and maybe Japanese, but I see a lot of 한자 in the card. There are so many different pictures. I like looking at these cards because they're so colorful and has a lot of different meanings inside the cards too. I guess it's like the poker cards has really colorful shapes and things like that. Has meanings inside, I guess. So this is very thick plastic. You hit it and then you hear it, pak, pak. You know, you hear the sound too. You always wonder when you're a kid, like what parents are doing. So 화투를 치다. Play 화투 game. While. This is while. Hey Fiza, you made it. Awesome. 밤을 새우는 모습이. 밤을 새우다 also go hand in hand. 밤 is night. 새우다. It's not shrimp. 새우다 is stay up all night. So that's why they go hand in hand. 밤을 새우다. We say it together. 밤을 새우다. 내일 시험이 있어서 밤 새웠어요. I stayed up all night because I had an exam tomorrow. So, staying up all night describing 모습이, appearance. Subject, appearance. 흔했던 것을 떠올려 보면 흔하다. This is another verb adjective. 흔하다. Describing 것. What is 흔하다? 흔하다, to be common in the past tense. And then 떠올려 보다. So 떠오르다, and then here, actually 떠올리다. Recall. 떠올리다. Recall. Okay, look up this verb, 떠올리다. Try, right? 보다 is try. If you try to recall the thing, what thing? The appearance. What's common? What kind of appearance? People are staying up all night while playing the card games. Who? While condolers play the card game. Just say that just only over 10 years ago. But I looked at the comments in the Naver article. People are saying, yeah, even nowadays people still do that. But I remember when I was a kid, I visited a funeral and a lot of people drink and also play card games. And they, kind of lift up the environment, even though it is a funeral. So that's what they're saying. If you think about it, we also did that before. 남은 일을 위로하고 남은 일을. So 남다 verb to be left. 남다 or to remain. So 이 is a person in this context. Person who left. Person who remains. 위로하다. What's the verb here? 위로하다. Comfort. Comfort the remaining people. And 죽은 이를. Dead person. 죽다 is to die, right? So 죽은 이를. Dead person. 추모하는. The verb 추모하다. Cherish. So comfort the remaining people and cherish the dead person. 마음, that kind of mind. 마음만큼은 as much for that kind of mind, people cherish the dead person and comfort the remaining person. That mind. As for that kind of mind, 만국 공통이 아닐까. 만국 공통. So this is the subject. Two nouns are combined. 만국 is all nation. 공통. What is 공통? 공통, this is common. As a noun. 공통. 우리는 공통점이 많아. We have a lot in common. That's in English structure, right? We have a lot in common. But we say we have a lot of 공통점. point that is common. 공통 is common as a noun, actually. So, all nations common. Common, how do you say? Common custom? 아닐까? Wouldn't it be? So we just went through word for word. Who can make a full sentence? Who can translate this? I believe, I think. This is rhetorical. Wouldn't all nations' common custom be not? Wouldn't it be not, right? Wouldn't this be not? What kind of common custom? Actually, this is as much as that kind of mind, as much as the mind that people cherish the dead person and comfort the remaining person. So this part is describing 마음, right? This is the adjective clause. If you try to recall the thing that appearance doesn't make sense. Appearance was common. What kind of appearance? The people are staying up all night while condolers play cards, saying that only 10 years ago. I believe. Would it not be the all nations common custom? Right? I believe, would it not be all nations common custom? As for that much, as much as of the mind. What kind of mind? This thing. People want to comfort the remaining and then cherish the dead. And then they're talking about, if you look back, we also did that. Condolers play cards and staying up all night. That kind of appearance was common, used to be common. Right? So they're saying that instead of looking at different culture and people are doing different things, we cannot judge them because we also did those things. But they're saying it as if it only happened in the past. But apparently some people are saying in the comments, it still goes on, People still come to funeral and play cards and staying up all night. And some people are saying that it's actually more of the comfort of the remaining person because people are lifting up the atmosphere. 어떻게 생각해요? I know it's too early to think about your funeral. What kind of funeral would I have? Right? I don't think about that. But it's kind of interesting because we don't think about it in general. This is not a common topic to think about. So this is it, guys. The site was common. So 질문이 있으면 지금 말하시고요. 질문이 없으면 그럼 오늘 라이브를 종료하겠습니다. Hopefully you enjoyed this article and if you want me to look at any kind of specific content, please leave comment down below. Then I can take a look for the future live stream. Mine will be sad. No! You want the sad one. You actually want the sad one. Really sad one. You want people to cry, right? Okay. So I think next weekend, they won't be live streaming. I thought about it because I have an appointment on Saturday, so I cannot make it. But Sunday is Thanksgiving. Probably it's too early for American people, but in Canada we have Thanksgiving next weekend. So next weekend they won't be live streaming, so I see you guys the week after. But as you know, this weekend, South Korea, they just had Thanksgiving, their Thanksgiving, 한가위. Okay, so 한가위 잘 보내세요. That's the message they say. Have a good, happy Thanksgiving. 한가위 잘 보내세요. So they just had one. I think it gets extended with other holidays right now in South Korea. Yeah, 추석. 추석 is another word. 추석 잘 보내세요. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. So hopefully you enjoy the rest of the week. Then I see you guys next weekend. Then have a good weekend.